Welcome back. We're going to talk about rhythm today. This is a video I've been waiting to do for a hot minute now. I uploaded a rhythm video a while back called the Miyabi build at the start of DNA, if you guys remember. And in that video, I specifically stated how she wasn't completed. People were just asking about the build. And when I actually finish her, I will upload the full build again. So we finished Miyabi, or rhythm per se. Unfortunately, I have some good news and some bad news. I am beyond overpowered now at this point. So I'm actually a lot stronger than what I was expecting myself to be when I made that video. And with that being said, the Miyabi build, it's kind of not as perfect anymore because I can't actually get the build to function with how overpowered I am. So I will go over that in this video. We'll talk a little bit more about the Miyabi build, but don't worry, my Miyabi enjoyers, if you still want to have that quick lightning fast strikes, I do have solutions for you. So we will get down to the meat and potatoes. So thank you for sticking around. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like. We're gonna do this build differently. The showcase is gonna be at the very end of the video rather than the beginning of the video. So let's get right into our demon wedges, ladies and gents. Starting with the Ravaging Thunder. This is going to give us 55% skill damage when maxed out. And every time our character uses an ability, they're going to get 9.9% increase to their skill damage. Up to 8 stacks. It lasts for 16 seconds. Thankfully, whenever we're playing rhythm, we're going to pop our Q and we're going to spam E quite a lot, whether it be in mobbing situations or bossing situations. You actually get a lot more skill damage and you just do a crazy amount. Right, so this is actually really important. So whenever you get the chance, go out of your way and go farm this. Next in our build is going to be the Siren's Wings Inspo. This is going to be the gold version. You do have to be trial rank 60 for those of you who don't know. If you are trying to match this build, unfortunately, you're kind of just stuck with the blue one until you can get TR 60. This is why I heavily stress getting trial rank. Not only will you get a damage increase, but you'll also get more quality of life improvements to your builds. When you go and farm trial rank. So definitely go out there. If you aren't TR 60 now, just make that your main priority. Just get TR 60 as fast as possible so you can get this one, because this changes everything for characters like Rhythm, Fantasio, etc. Next, we're going to move over to our Midnight Sun. Now, I went over to the Midnight Sun rather than Midnight Wildfire, mainly because with I2, my Rhythm's I6 by the time of this video that you're about to see. The I2 gives Rhythm so much range because of how it works. So if you don't know how the I2 works, is every time we kill an enemy, the electric charge like channels to the next enemy within 20 meters of the enemy that died, right? And it just keeps going. It doesn't stop. The timer resets and everything like that. So enemies tend to die really far away from me, and sometimes I don't see enemies like at all. And it really sucks because there's a lot of secret letter clues and stuff like that I'd be missing out on. So I hope at some point we get a buff to Rhythm, in which Rhythm like gets something similar to Psyche, where Psyche gets like another like plus 15 or 20 something odd meters to her loot pool or loot radius, because Rhythm definitely needs that. Enemies die way too far away, right? So I actually have no range inside my build really, other than, you know, what's given to me from, where am I getting my range from? Yeah, I don't even know. We'll just ignore that for now. Is it that? Oh wait, I remember where I get my range from. I'm getting my range from my talents. That's where it's coming from. Moving on, we got two Blaze Volitions here. Blaze Volition when maxed out is going to give us 88% attack and 44% skill damage. This is actually kind of important because I want the attack percent and I want the skill damage. It is actually really nice on Rhythm. Rhythm wants as much skill damage as possible. Her multiplier is pretty decently high, not as high as someone like Knifles, but it's still high enough. So this is what's making me do, like, you know, the 2 million dot ticks and stuff like that with my electric charge. So I think this takes precedence. So that's why I'm running two Blaze Volitions for now. I am running Duel for the bossing setup. However, when I'm not running Duel, I do run Onslaught or Trapped, and I recommend Onslaught or Trapped versus Duel. And the main reason why I'm going to say it's better than Duel is because, see, Rhythm's electric charge, it's snapshots, right? So if I walk into an enemy and let's say I'm surrounded by like 2 enemies or 3 enemies, sorry, say I'm surrounded by like 3 enemies at the very least, even though their enemies really far away, they're still going to take whatever damage numbers the initial person who got hit with got, like, you know, whatever who was the closest person to me that got hit with the electric charge and that transferred off, that's going to be the same amount of damage. It's not going to amp up or increase any further, which is the part that kind of sucks with rhythm. So like if you're trying to do the Miyabi build, if you're trying to run around and, you know, just mob, you'll kind of like miss out on some damage. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm so powerful at this point, it doesn't really matter. So you could just leave duel on if you really don't care, because it's not that much content inside the game that can honestly sit here and tank the amount of damage you're gonna do with my build. I'm just gonna be honest, right? But just know you are gonna be missing on some damage nonetheless because of that. Even when you jump up in like the ceiling and try to do like the I'm high altitude, it's not gonna necessarily work until you reset it on someone else, and then that new bolt transfers over, right? So just to keep a sake of consistency, see some bigger numbers and stuff like that, or whatever the case may be, like just for the fun of it, I recommend just using something like Onslaught. It's consistent no matter what you're doing, and when enemies die and the next wave comes in, you're just gonna keep just amping up, and it just feels great. So I would slot in onslaught, sloppy. Boy. Anyways, I would slot this in when possible. If not, you can do duel. Like I said, if you want to try to like mess around with the bounty commissions, go for it. Maybe you can better snapshot it, maybe you don't mind. And trap is great again for people who like the Miyabi build. If you want to dive into the thick of it when you see like massive crowds, then you'll obviously get that big amp there as well. And let you just like mow everything down instantly, because everything's already dying. But hey, the bounty commissions where you spend your life, it's great. Now we got gleaming dual pistols. This is actually kind of nice because gleaming dual pistols, the good thing about this is the reason why we went with dual pistols was for the skill damage, right? Because I'm running the S-Crest duos, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go on gleaming. However, one thing to consider, I'm not gonna lie, depending on your rhythm build, if you decide you don't want to do the Miyabi build, right, and you want to go for even more damage over me, you can obviously replace my Momoji Iteki with the Wayne pole arm that everyone else uses for the skill damage. And then if you do that method instead with S-Crest duos, what I would suggest, and this is also like shout out to Dandywell, he's a genius for this, switch gleaming dual pistols to gleaming pole arm, because if you go play multiplayer, almost every single team or player that you encounter is gonna have a pole arm, right? Because everyone's abusing the movement tech with the pole arms. So if you want to always have access to all of your damage and you play multiplayer and co-op and stuff like that, I highly recommend just going the gleaming pole arm over gleaming dual pistol. It made so much more sense when me and Dandy were talking about it. I'm like, you know what, honestly, that's kind of genius. I might consider doing that, right? I might honestly consider leveling up a pole arm one, slapping this in, and whenever I go play multiplayer, even though I don't need the damage because I'm just so overpowered as is, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but like literally I stomp all content right now. I might just put this on for future content, right? Or just to up my damage numbers further, because like why not, right? We are running Prime Morale. Now this is only +6. I am lucky to have gotten an extra copy during one of my old commission runs. However, I haven't been able to make any improvements since because I'm unlucky at the same time and I haven't got a single drop. But thankfully that will change with 1.1. So when 1.1 come out, we'll start stacking more into Prime Morale. I'm not gonna lie, get a bigger damage amp. Moving on to our weapons now. Oh wait, actually, sorry, before I move on to the weapons, let me show off the Introns. We do have I6. I6 is very, 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 very important. If you don't have I6, no worries. I2 is great. Obviously, I3 is just a damage increase. I4 just lets you, it's just a quality of life improvement. So what this does is it gives you 150% or 150 like max sanity charge or whatever, electric energy. And what that essentially does is like off rib lets my E have like that further increased movement, like that speed boost. So at the start of a commission, I can just instantly start flying, right? I don't have to worry about building up electric energy to then get that movement speed increase, in case anyone was curious how the I4 works, right? That's all it is. It just speeds up commission farming. And then I5 is great. More damage, can't go wrong with that. And I6, this is the best part. This increases the damage per second significantly. So now I shoot out 2 lightning bolts. So like if I hit an enemy for like 1 million, I'm technically hitting them for like 2 million. Before anyone sits there and says that's not how it works, actually on stream when I was like farming the bounty commissions, or whatever. Not even just the bounty commissions. I was doing like a regular capture. There's only one enemy in front of me, and we hit him twice for over 1 million damage. So it is kind of how it works, right? You just shoot out 2 lightning bolts at the same time. There's no other target there. You're just going to shoot out 2 and just hit them. So it's pretty nice in that sense, right? Whether it's intended or unintended, I don't know. I don't care. Just know that's how it worked, and I just needed that for confirmation. I hit a single enemy twice for 1 million damage. All right, moving onwards, right? Looking at our skills, my skills are completely maxed out because I am a rhythm main, so I am fortunate to have wasted all of my fates, or I should say wasted, but I spent them all on my skills. So in case you're curious where all my damage is also coming from, I do recommend maxing out all of these. Everything in Rhythm's kit is actually a boost to her damage overall, unlike characters like Sibylle, who I'll talk about later. So there you go. Next, we got our weapons. I like to use the Momoji E Techie. Now this is where the build's gonna get a little bit longer. So this is where the Miyabi build really settles in. For those of you who watch the Miyabi build, we'll talk about it. I do have it completely smelt 5, so it's maxed out. Highly recommend getting this bad boy maxed out. Looking at the demon wedges here, for the bossing setup, we got the demon blade loadout here. We're gonna run edge. I do have it at +6. Unfortunately, I haven't got it any higher. I can't get the penetration or edge to drop, so it's kind of rough. But we do have it at +6. We're gonna run focus for crit chance to get our crit chance up, because this weapon is mainly a crit damage based weapon. As you can see here, I have 954% crit damage. Absolutely insane. We have impetus focus here for attack percent and more crit chance. Granted, we want to get this crit chance as high as possible, right? I'm using Crescent Flurry. This doubles all of our damage, which is huge, and it gives us more attack range, improving the quality of life of the Momoji, because it kind of feels like butt without the range. I'm not gonna lie, but with the range, it's pretty solid, right? And then obviously the double damage is just nice. Next, we got Rage Trammel. Now this is completely maxed out, again helping me boost that crit damage a little bit higher, and it does give me some trigger probability. Granted, it's only 29.85%, but with how fast we attack, we do tend to proc more electric going on there. And then if you know how trigger probability works, this will apply even rhythms, stacks, and stuff like that onto the target, as well as more slash, or, you know, yeah, it'll give like the slash attack and all that stuff like that to hit the shields, allowing us to just really take the cake and take away huge chunks of HP from the boss. Next, we got Rage. Rage for the crit damage. Again, boosting this number higher. Highly recommend. Super important. Your crit mods, crit damage mods, super important. Don't ever sleep on those. We do have a regular impetus focus, or just a regular impetus on. I don't know how to say impetus focus. I don't know why I said that. A regular impetus on for 150%. And then we have celerity, right, for attack speed. Now, again, this is for the bossing setup. This isn't for the Miyabi build. For the Miyabi setup, for those of you who wants to mob and keep that thing going, Let me stop. We got brutality going on here. What brutality does is it increases our weapon attack speed. I actually put the wrong one on. There we go. That was funny. This is going to increase our attack speed by 60% when we defeat an enemy. You got to get 2 stacks to get the 60%, by the way. I ignored the 30% stacking. You're going to kill 2 enemies. Put it like that. Who cares? They're just going to die. When you do a heavy attack, everything around you will just die. So you're going to have a 60% attack speed increase. It's going to feel really nice, right? Again, we got the impetus going on for the Miyabi build. Really important to keep that damage uptime. We are going to run edge again to increase our slash attack so we can get this number higher, because we are going to be sacrificing some of our crit chance. Crescent Flurry for the attack range. Why am I sacrificing some of my crit chance? Well, it's 43.78% this way. To slot in for more damage. With how fast you're going to be attacking, most of your attacks are going to provide more crits than not. Anyways, so I kind of decided I'm just going to sacrifice the crit chance slightly, just for the sake of quality and to have both of the brutality and fervor on. Now, if you don't like that, you can put on the focus mod if you truly want to, but you lose out on so much damage because you lose like half. So if I take this off, this drops all the way down to like 930, right? So even with the crit, when you do crit, it's not as high as you would probably think it probably should be. So it's just one of those situations where, yeah, consistency you can probably argue, but with how fast we attack, the consistency is there. You know what I mean? In case anyone's curious about why I lowered my crit. All right, we have regular impetus focus. This gives us essentially what was just base focus, right? 99% crit chance. We're gonna just say it's 100% crit chance. Who cares? And 75% extra attack. So that's why I have this one on. It's essentially the same thing until you come out with just like a regular gold focus mod that gives like 200% crit chance. I think this one's just a better one to use if you're just gonna have 100% crit. Just use this one, right? You get an extra added buff to it. We do have Fervor on. Fervor is going to stack with our Rhythms Q, our movement speed there, allowing us to move faster. So like that zippy movement that you guys see that you all knew and love, whenever I kill an enemy, I get faster and faster, and then it stacks with the momentum and speed boost that we got from our electric charge with the Q. So when you do like your E dash into a slash, into a dash attack, I know that sounds crazy. I'm out here spitting Tekken combos at you. You start just moving around so fast where your camera just breaks, and sometimes you just randomly teleport to the other side of the room. If you guys remember seeing me do that, which is kind of funny, it's great. So that's why I kind of really like this build. In order to make this actually work, you're gonna kind of have to nerf your rhythm just a little bit. So what I would recommend or suggest to do if you really want to try to add it on is probably get rid of your gleamings if you really want to have like that crazy build setup. Or get rid of something like dual and then slap on like more efficiency or something like that, right? Because as it stands, everything dies. So when I try to get close enough to melee something, it's most likely already dead, right? Or I'll punch it one time, but I can't get the stack because it's not my katana that's going to kill it. It's going to be my ability that instantly kills it. So I have a hard time with the Miyabi build in that sense. And the only time I get to have fun with the Miyabi build is whenever I run out of like sanity, or if I decide to just disable the ability just to run around because I want to like slice things, but then you miss out on the crazy movement speed stacking that happens. So just be mindful of that until we get more content in the game that allows more mobs to spawn on top of me, like in bounty commissions. You won't really have as much fun as you would like. So you gotta wait for Hero Games to come out with some more stuff. So if you do want to go to a Miyabi build, again, just nerf your damage slightly. Unfortunately, it's kind of what you just have to do. That is everything else. Let's talk about the S-Crest duos. So the S-Crest duos, this isn't too important. We're only using it as a stat stick. This is also Smelt 5. This is going to give us 48% scale damage. But in the situations in which you want to like shoot something because you're out of like melee ammo, or not melee ammo, you're out of like sanity, or whatever the case may be, and maybe you don't want to get close to melee because you kind of got tired of getting knocked down in your butt the whole time, like if you're fighting the Crystalophile. I'm sorry, I can't speak, I am so tired. You got impetus focus, fold over for multi-shot. This is just going to let us do more damage overall. We got impetus again, pretty typical setup here. Penetration, rage trammel, it's not maxed out. Who cares? I'm only missing like 9%. It's not that big of a deal. My damage isn't really coming from this anyway, so I don't really care, but you can max this out if you really want to. And then celerity for the attack speed, so I can obviously pump bullets out like crazy. And then trigger probability, so that we can get more rhythm stacks onto the target with her like electric thing, and let the dot tick just like bleed away at enemies. And then we got focus again for the crit chance, so we can be more consistent with our damage because this weapon needs as much damage as possible. So that's our weapon. Those are our character skills and demon wedges. Let's talk about teams with Truffle. And my Truffle, she is I3, which is actually kind of important. We do have I3 Truffle. We did upgrade her skills. Her skills is at level 8. I want to start off with her more than anything. If you decide to get I2 Truffle, or if you have I2 Truffle, whatever the case may be, but you never bothered like actually building her, the main thing that's important for Truffle is going to be her E skill and her HP passive. Because her I2, she gives you flat attack, right? Which is honestly insane because it's affected by her trial rank, her DPS. And then we got Chop Chop. Now this is again just making her a damage dealer. I did actually like up this a little bit because this is the main reason why there's a chance to drop one ammo supply chest, which is kind of really nice. I hate running out of bullets. So for like other characters and units and stuff like that, I would recommend just grabbing this. It's pretty nice to help your team get more bullets whenever she does proc her E. But this is the main one I would focus on if you're just trying to use her just for her her overall damage boost that she's going to give your team, is the level 8 Trot Trot. Level this up. get this like plus 10 if possible. Mine isn't plus 10 right now. I do have it at Intron 3, but I will upgrade it further. Going to her actual demon wedges here, I am actually running on the Whispering Zephyr, whatever, because the reason why I'm running the skill damage one is because if you don't know, you kind of want to get Truffle to be above like 220% skill damage roughly. So her AI, when you're using it as a companion, kind of thinks that she's a DPS unit and doesn't just sit there and just like do nothing, right? You want her to actually spam her E skill as much as possible so you can get those buffs. So by upping her skill damage, this will honestly like trick her AI into doing it. Unfortunately, that's kind of what you have to do. I went out of my way to go farm some extra Blaze Volitions because I was using the other one, but who cares, right? At the end of the day, I think this one was enough to get me to where I needed to be with regular Blaze Volitions. Like, it just got me barely over like the 220 mark. But you don't have to get the gold ones. I'm just gonna throw that out there. We have Wings of Inspo on, so obviously she can just spam her E skill as much as possible, have uptime on it, max sanity, and all that good stuff. Nirvana is really important again for the I2. We're trying to get her close to 10k HP as possible. Thankfully, when she's standing inside the field, her HP actually jumps up quite a bit. So even though it's 8.9, it actually jumps up to I think 10,000 instantly just for her existing. So we're close already, or we did already hit the 10k mark, getting us that full flat 300. We do have her on Prime Serenity, which is super important. She's going to be the person who generates me some more sanity and stuff like that passively, because our other character, Tabby is going to be our buffer, and she's actually going to be my uplifter. All right, so we got her on Serenity here, and that's essentially it. I do have on Abnegation, and the reason why I have Abnegation on is we nerf Truffle's skill range for skill duration, because I don't care what Truffle does with her pig when she's throwing it, right? I don't care where the pig goes. I just want the buff from her. So I do have the skill durations to make the buff last longer, because sometimes her AI just tweaks out and doesn't give me the buff. So I just want more damage. So I do have skill duration to make sure that when she does provide the buff, me and whoever I'm playing with keeps that buff snapshotted. All right. So moving on here, we are actually going to look at Tabby now. Now, Tabby, don't worry about her. She isn't anything crazy. She's only I1, and her I1 doesn't really do like a whole lot. So you don't have to worry about getting that right now. We do have her buff increased. Main thing that's important about Tabby is going to be her passive. Just unlocking this one right here, her final one, Novelty. Once you unlock Novelty, you're going to passive skill tree, and then just get the regular buff for Tabitha's specialty, right? This is the one that boosts your skill damage even further. This is really nice. I recommend leveling this up to 10 as well if you have the fates to do so, or you can just start grinding out more of Tabby's cons because she is now a standard unit, which I haven't done. I need to jump on that. So there's more damage for your rhythm to be made. Moving on to our Genie Mons here. Genie Mons is always the exact same. I'm still running the Bro Boxy because I'm farming quite a bit. I got Boxy for the radius and drop chance. I think this is more important for rhythm, arguably, than the sanity one, because usually everything dies. So with everything dying like crazy, I don't really have to worry about sanity drops too much. It kind of sucks because it's a little bit RNG, but as long as like I can get to like the crowd that I killed fast enough, I can typically get my sanity back. And usually off my Q, I'll kill like another massive group of enemies, and then I'll get my sanity back. And because of the way the I2 works, I'm over explaining myself. The I2, for reference, will just keep bouncing back and forth between enemies. Even if I'm not in my Q state, it'll keep resetting its timer. So you won't even notice. Like, there's times I don't even notice I'm not in my Q state. Like, I ran out of sanity because I'm still seeing my electric charge just hit every single target, right? So I just want to throw that out there. That's why I really don't care too much for the electric elf. But if you really want to, you can throw this on to restore sanity for yourself and increase your skill damage even further, doing more damage, right? Yeah, that's everything that we have to showcase. If you guys like this video, please, again, drop a like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch for more. I'll be glad to talk more rhythm and all things. Let me know who you want to see next. We'll try to get to them right now. The next character I'm going to make a video for is going to be Sibylle. I'm going to try to have the Sibylle video out before 1.1's release. And then after that, I'm going all in on Fushu, guys. So stay tuned for that. On to the showcase. We did that. And you know what's funny? I didn't even get a chance to even hit her with my my heavy attack from my katana at all, because she instantly went to that state. But 33 seconds, that's probably like my slowest clear. But right there, we hit her for 1.9 million damage, and we didn't even get a chance to go higher yet with our stacks. So yeah, there you go. I think we lost a couple of stacks when she again. Let's see if we can actually break her stance faster. If I can get lucky and just not have her. Nope, she instantly is gonna go into this state. Break her stance before we get her to this state. And because of that, I can get more damage off. We just gotta pay attention to our stacks down bottom, right? We lost some stacks there, so we're gonna get our stacks back up. To make sure we keep our eye on that the whole time. Lost some more stacks. Doesn't matter though, because she's dead. The Warden of the Inferno.
All verdicts are in the name. Present your final pleas.
And let the katana do its thing. Oh my god, she's gonna cuck me. That's actually kind of ridiculous. The katana's honestly broken, bro. I don't think people understand how broken this katana is. I might not even have to get the full stacks to finish her off right here. But we're gonna go. Oh, here we go. And I'm just gonna let the katana do its thing. Boom. Boom. Just like that. If that was S rank, the damage multiplier is like insane. She would have definitely instant died. Right? Right there, 1.3. Didn't even need like to do anything else crazy. How much damage did the Momoji do? Melee weapon? Did about like what? Is that like 2 million right there? Yeah, we did 2,429,000 with little slashes we did without full stacks. That's how insane the Momoji Ateki really is, man. This weapon is busted. Oh, here we go. We got the A rank. S rank. Should break some legs right here. Broke 2 legs. Bet. Get some stacks back while we still can. I got A's. I'm just gonna do that. Look how big that damage number is. Oh, did we miss? Oh, I guess we missed the heavy attack. We got the initial stab, but there we go. Got the break there. Hard part is actually trying to make sure I had A rank, but it's okay. And I'm gonna pop my Q. Again, we don't have full stacks, but that's okay.
Oh, that's a lot of damage!
I could have finished him off right there with the F, but we're not going to. See, if I pop my Q sooner, is a simple fact that he has all this knockback. So sometimes he also interrupts your combos when you're trying to like spam Momoji. So you kind of have to actually dodge in between his attacks so you don't miss out on damage.
Take me on the next
Right?
mission.
Other than that, you can see how fast we bleed his HP. We hit him for 1.8 right there, 1.8 mil. That's not that bad. That's actually really good.
Here we go again.
Because I chose to live on. Not bad, I must say. Keep it up. Meaningless struggle. Show me what you're made.
Where'd she go? There's so much happening. I can't tell. Sit still, woman. I can't see you.
Starting now! Snatch the keys back from these guys and unlock the final treasure chest!
Let's just do this.
Live on.
Unlock opens!
Now we go crazy. Straight sicko mode on everything. Oh yeah. It's crazy. I got a target over here. Get some stacks up real quick. Just watch his HP. I'm just gonna hit him with a B. And he's dead. Mind you, this is co-op, so me being multiplayer, this is like a testament to my damage, right? Even without using like full stacks, full combo, we still end up melting that guy faster than most players can. So yeah, Rhythm's goated, man. For anyone who was curious, is she worth the investment? Yes. For those of you who don't know, at some point during the 1.x update, not 1.1, but I think like 2 updates from now, Rhythm will go to the standard shop. So if you aren't fortunate and don't have like the i6 Rhythm, don't worry. She will be coming to your account soon. She will be super farmable for you. If you can farm her this week, then do it. Look at that, 88% damage dealt. This is what it looks like on an average on a daily for me. And 2.5 million damage right there. You love to see it. 2.5 mil, almost 3 million damage, max damage per attack. You gotta love to see that, right? You gotta love to see it. All right. You guys have a blessed one. I'll catch you in the next one.